Okay, August and Ish, and now, just to bring us up to speed, I have these frames partially sanded. I will always retain a face mark there just to know which is the outside or which is the inside. Always have a marking system. So just leave one there just to tell me which side is which. So I have two of these frames. They've got a 5-degree angle. The actual splay sits out the way. I've got a run here which is to the front. So the front edge is also marked. This is the underside of the top. So I've again identified which is which, so I can easily just pick up a piece, put it into its position there. Now these guys are going to go like that there. They're sloping there. If I turn it to camera angle wise, if I just pop it around there, they're going to sit like that. There's a 5-degree slope on them outward, and then they're going to sit proud of the bottom there like that. They're not going to touch the top at all, the side frames. They're going to have a spigot coming from here into here, and they've got an inlaid band around that there, which you'll see at a later stage, just to give it a lift. I'm using ash with what's called Wengie, which is a tropical African hardwood. I use it in very small amounts. It's a beautiful timber. It gives the contrast. It allows the ash and the black and the white, ebony and ivory. It gives it that diversity, and it jumps out at you when it's polished. So these guys are going to go, literally, going to have that particular element in there, and it's also going to be inside the in frame as well. I've used that simply because I've got a tenon on the end there, and it's going in there, slotted housing effectively. And in order to do it, I was able to send them through the machine over yonder there, do the tenon. So I had to do a groove the whole way through, and I come along afterwards and I fill that and make a feature of it. That's a design principle that I would use constantly. Always, if I have to machine something, can I do something that enhances and lifts it, and also reduces the machining time or the actual workload on myself in the making process. So they are all little decisions that have to be made as you go along. That's why I like the concept of composing a piece, especially if this is for myself, so I can do as I want. So the constraints of the client don't sit on me. So there's going to be a spigot there. Again, you'll probably guess that spigot is going to be in Wengie sticking out there. It'll be 12mm, and these guys then will sit here like that. They'll be elevated off of that. They'll give a 5-degree slope, giving perfect good strength. The other one will come out that way, obviously. And then I know the front side, and I know the outside, and I know the front side. There's no inlay on the back at all. It's just on the front edge here. So we'll see that. And we've also got we've got the spigots put into this here, and we've also got a line along there. So there'll be a spigot going from here into that. That'll connect them, and there's also going to be that detail run along the bottom as well. So we'll see the whole table. It'll look like there's no pieces connected at all. So you'll just have to look clearly or to look closely to actually see the jointing process. So I like that sort of thing, making it airy and light, and looks like it's levitating rather than supporting any big structure on top. At the end of the day, it's a television table just to hold the television. So we just include those little design details as we go along. As I say, we don't have huge structural strength. So that's it there to date. I have this shelf will be incorporated in here. Everything's inverted upside down at the moment. So this will be in here just to hold the TV box when it's completed. So I'm doing an inset here in Wengie. I have a little issue that occurs here, just how to put it on camera, and that is you can't miter the pieces into position there because you won't be able to get the fourth one in, simply because the bottom is longer than the top. So you're never going to be able to get the fourth piece in. In that case, what you do is you just cut lengths which are full length here, and we leave them down, we leave them extend up and down here, and then we have to come along with these guys, the short ones. And what we have to do is create a scribe, which is the only way to do it is by hand. So we create a scribe so it sits in like that there, nice and neatly there, and nice and tight. So in order to achieve that, what you've got to have to do is a concave gouge, which is this guy here, which is sharpened on the inside. So I'm going to do an internal curve, and I have one done here. You'll see that there just on camera. I don't know if the camera can pick that up if we just do that nice and slowly and we turn it. So that's it there. I've got to create it on the other end as well. Now in order to do that, this has to be sharp. You're not going to do any kind of scribe work without edge. So my way of holding this is just, you get in over it, you want to be looking down vertically on it, and you need to keep that gauge perfectly vertical. So if our skill comes into play, hand tools come into play. There's no machine I have to do this. There's no router cutter I have. Now I'm sure you can get one, but for doing the odd scribe, it's just quick to do them by hand. So I leave it oversized ever so slightly. I'll come back in that again. I'm just going to come back more now. And I'll undercut ever so slightly. What I mean by that is I'll take more off the end than I will off the top. So I'll go here, push that in there, there we go. Now that guy goes in there, he's going to sit in. I'll put a tiny spot of glue there, and then that creates the round to satisfy the requirement on the vertical surface there. Always occur on an internal frame where there's a groove. If there's a rebate, no problem. But if there's a groove there, now you've got an issue. Your way out of that then, quite simply, is to create a nice, clean, clinical scribe. Anish Godin K. Dorella, until the next hour we meet, slán go fóill. Bye for now.